Let's take a look at online collaboration and how we can use this in clinical trials to facilitate collaboration between teammates. Avery Shaw is a coordinator, and she's responsible for a set of patients in a clinical trial. She works for an organization, and here's her information. On her dashboard, she can take a look at her network and then the different services that are available to her, and we'll drill down into each one. We take a look at contacts. So Avery works with both a team inside her organization and outside of her organization. You can see that there's a number of patients that will be participating in this clinical trial, along with the principal investigator, who is Harold Cooper. So one of the things that they're going to be doing through the clinical trial is collecting data, sharing information. So here is the profile for Harold Cooper, and we can see if he has any contact information about himself, but also any information or data that we've shared, either between him as a team member or him as a group member. And we'll talk more about that as we go through this visual model. On the right-hand side, we can also see that there's common connections between Harold and Avery, and that's Hope Michaels. And Hope is another member of the team. So what you're starting to see is you can build a little network of team members along with the groups that you'll be working with. Another common group is the clinical trial itself. So you can create, you can add, you can delete, you can leave different groups, and all of these are spontaneous and built, or I guess created by the group members based on a particular need. So here's the clinical trial team. It's Avery, it's another member, Daniel Brooks, Harold Cooper, and Hope Michaels. And if you notice, we can see that Daniel Brooks, although he's part of a team, he's not been connected with Avery yet. So Avery can reach out, take a look at Daniel's profile information, and then get connected. So you'll see that Avery just clicks on the Get Connected button, and what that'll do is it'll send an invitation to Daniel saying, hey Daniel, let's make a connection between Avery and Daniel as we start working together on this project. We can also select by group, and now I can take a look at the various groups that Avery is a member of. We've talked about the clinical trial team, but there's also another group that Avery is responsible, and that's the patient team, and we'll take a look at that in just a second. And just as we saw before, here's the different members of the group. And now we can take a look at the patient group. So you can be a member, you can be an owner, you can be a participant of various groups based on the different roles or the different responsibilities or the different interests or the different communities that members are support. And all of these are created and managed by the users themselves. There's really no need for a technical group or something like that to get involved. So here's all the different patients that Avery is responsible for, and you can see that some have been connected to and some have not. So Avery just clicks on the Get Connected button, and that'll send an email to those patients to say, hey, let's get connected so we can start working together. So again, it just makes it very easy for Avery to reach out to her team members, to her patients, and allow her to have a more personal working relationship with them. And we'll talk more about that as we go through this visual model. Now we can see the different updates in Avery's dashboard. So there was a connection from Harold Cooper, and that happened today. You can see that Avery also created a survey that she sent out, and we'll talk more about that later. You notice that Hope has shared some files with Avery. Harold Cooper has shared a file. So rather than emailing back and forth all of these various documents and artifacts that are associated with this project, they all sit in one shared space. And we'll talk more about that in just a few minutes. Now, the actual clinical trial itself has a series of steps, of processes, of tasks, of documents, all the different things that go into creating, managing, running a clinical trial can be organized in one place under the activities component of Avery's dashboard. So you can see these are components that are associated with the review board. These are components that are associated with the principal investigator. So you can see that since Harold is the primary or the principal investigator for this clinical trial, a lot of that content or a lot of that information comes from Harold. So again, everybody can collaborate and participate in this project. You can see that under sponsorship, both Hope, Harold, and Avery are all making contributions to that section. So as more and more people come onto the team, rather than emailing all of that information back and forth, it can all be logically organized in one place. Now, there may be to-dos across all of the various sections, so I can see the to-dos that are assigned to Avery. I can also see the to-dos that Avery created and assigned to other folks. So again, it's a very simple way to help all the participants of this project easily organize the steps, the tasks, the to-dos associated with getting the clinical project completed. So let's go back. We'll go back into files for a second. Just kind of take a look at how we organize files among the team. So when I see it when I see a file, I have different ways that I can act on that file. And something that occurs over and over is, instead of emailing back and forth the files and saying, hey, can you update this and can we look at this, why not just instantly collaborate on this document? So instead of mailing it back and forth, revision 1, revision 2, revision 3, why not get all the principal people like Hope, like Harold, together in an instant webcast, an instant online conference, and just share the document at one time and get all of the input from all of the members. So that's what Avery's doing. She went to the document, she clicked on the document, she launched a webcast, and now she's inviting the key people. Now, for the sake of demonstration, we're just going to kind of walk through from Avery's perspective on how she would initiate that. So now what she's doing is she's uploading that document so that everyone can see it in the webcast. And she can just scroll through that document and people can make changes to it because it is a live document and everybody can see it in one view. So she can share this document, she can edit it in real time. And again, rather than mailing it back and forth and sending it back and forth numerous times, why not just resolve it? So one of the to-dos that comes out of this discussion is to get signatures for this document. So what she's going to do is she's going to assign that task to Hope, and that goes back into the activity. So it's a very seamless way to find documents, find the people, bring them together into an online collaboration, and just save a lot of time in the emails and the document revisions going back and forth. Get people together if they're available, get the information to them, and then get them working on it in real time. So that's what online collaboration is all about. Okay, so now that we've resolved that, we can save that and close the meeting. So again,